I feel it. Oh, I feel it in my chest.
Settle in as we delve into personal growth and all things spirituality, bringing connection to all divinity in the most humane way. So I am embarking on a 4-day fast. It is a Sacred Secretion fast. A lot of people also kind of call it like the Kundalini awakening, receiving Christ Consciousness. Like, it has these different names, but essentially all of it just means that you are focusing on your body. You are creating a very pure, clean temple, if you will, to then at the end of the 4 days, you should receive Christ Consciousness, which is this direct connection that we all have and all have the capacity to achieve, is to receive this direct connection to Source, God, universe, whatever you want to label it. So what actually happens is every single month we have the opportunity to do this. Every single month, the moon goes through all 12 of the zodiac signs. And when the moon reaches your sun sign, when it enters your sun sign, you have 2.5 days to be pure and clean. And then that Christ consciousness is risen, and then you have that enlightenment. So what actually happens, we all have this life force energy coming from our root chakra. And when that moon, and the whole purpose of Kundalini awakening is when that dormant life force energy in the root is awoken, and then it goes up the 33 vertebrae, up your 7 chakras into your crown, and then you have Christ consciousness, or you receive your Kundalini awakening. You're awakening that energy inside of you, but we have to raise it up through all of our chakras. So when we talk about sacred secretion, every single month when the sun or the moon goes into our sun sign, we have 2 substances that get released in our brain, in the pituitary gland and the pineal gland in our brain, and it releases the milk and honey. This is the land of the milk and honey that's referred to in the Bible. And so when those 2 oils, we'll call it oils, the Christ oil is released out of our brain, it goes down our spine into the root chakra, and then it is down in the root chakra once the sun or the moon goes into our sun sign, and then we have to raise it. So it's our job to be as pure and clean as possible. So you read about in the Bible the 40-day fasts that the apostles had to go through. Well, it's not really 40 in numerology. Everything is just numerology. So 40 reduces to 4. So it's only 4 days. So you want to be in a full fast a day before the moon goes into your sun sign. So that's today for me. Today is my first full day that I'm getting into the fast. And then tomorrow, I think it's like early in the morning, the moon goes into my sun sign, Capricorn. So today I am just getting into my fast. And then tomorrow I've literally blocked out everything. Yesterday I took all day, like the whole day, to get everything that I needed to get done, chores, anything. So that way tomorrow when it starts getting hard, because this is going to be hard for me, you guys, to not eat any food. You want to abstain from any kind of sexual energy. You don't want to release any of that sexual energy, because that's creative energy. That's how we create human beings, for God's sake. Like, that energy is powerful, and we've kind of been just taught through like pornography and masturbation and things just to like, let all of that energy go. But we need to actually harness that energy, because that's important, and like use it for like the betterment of yourself. And so if you can like abstain from any sexual activity, and you only put mineral water in your body, so like super hydration during these I think it's like 3.5 days or 3 full days. That's like, if you think about it, that's like the story of Christ. Like, Christ dies, that's the dying of that, and then we raise it back up. It takes 2.5, 3 days to raise it back up, and then you're resurrected. So that's the story of Jesus inside of our body. Every single one of us are capable of doing this. And it's just been so long lost. Like the history and the knowledge of it has just been lost, and people, look down upon people who are trying to do this. But this is like the secret, you guys. And so I've been researching it, and I've been sharing a lot about it here and there in my stories and whatnot. But now it's time to take that knowledge that I've been gaining and actually put it into practice, so that way I can actually experience it for myself and then share the wisdom, because we only get wisdom from experiencing the knowledge that we have. So I want to actually experience these things that I'm learning about, so that I can then go and teach it, because it's coming from a place of wisdom and experience. And I think that's really beautiful. So I'm really excited. I've cleared out my schedule. So starting tomorrow, I can just lay around and be restful and mindful. And actually I'm going to have a journal going, so I can actually start really seeing and becoming aware of when it is that I want food. If I'm actually feeling legitimately hungry, or if it's bored, is it coming out of an emotional state? All these things, when you have the space to really sit and reflect on yourself, you get to learn about yourself. You get to see, are your eating habits coming from an emotional state? Are you emotionally eating, or are you trying to actually fuel your body? And so when you can clear out all that outside noise and just focus on your body, your temple, then you can really start to understand yourself and see where these habits are coming from and stop it at its core. And that's the whole purpose, is to become aware of yourself, and then to get to the root of each problem, each bad habit that's keeping us stuck. We all have these ambitions and these things we want to achieve in life. And then we have the devil on one side and the angel on the other side, your higher self, your ego. And your higher self is saying, oh, you need to drink more water. You don't need to eat that right now. You have this soft, sweet voice telling you exactly what you need to do to achieve everything that you want. But then you have your ego, the devil side, that's saying, oh, it's okay. You deserve that chocolate cake, or whatever the ego said, whatever your inner talk says, that talks you out of what the soft, higher voice is telling you. And then typically, people who cave to the ego and get up at, 10 o'clock at night and eat that chocolate cake because that's what you really want. It's not what you need, but it's what you want. Then you tend to feel guilty and shameful for what you just did. And that is the opposite of what we want to be doing. So if I'm trying to teach you guys to come into this place of peace within your mind and looking at things from an energetic level, I've shared this before, but every living thing is on an energetic scale. We have fear, guilt, and shame at the bottom. That's in our root chakra. And then we have authenticity, love, and joy at the top in our crown chakra. So any circumstance we get ourselves in, whether we're having the inner dialogue, whether we want to go have that pint of ice cream that's in the freezer. Okay, let's just take that for an example. That's usually my weakness. Okay, I love me some ice cream. And I will sit there for what seems like ever, half an hour, battling in my head this inner dialogue that says, I really don't need that ice cream. And this other version that says, oh, but that ice cream is so good. You haven't had ice cream in a while. It's been a couple of days. Let yourself enjoy this, and blah, blah, blah. So then what you have to decide is, if you're going to listen to the ego, be grateful. Be in a high vibrational state. Don't go get that ice cream and start eating it and then start having the inner dialogue that says, this is going to make me fat. I shouldn't have been doing this. This guilty and this shameful vibration. We don't want that. So if you're going to choose to have the ice cream, then sit in gratitude. Thank you for this ice cream. Oh, this ice cream is going to make me feel so joyful and comforted, and whatever, X, Y, and Z, put whatever positive spin on it that you want. And it's not that we're lying to ourselves. We're choosing to come at something in a loving state of mind. So we're feeding that with high vibrational energy opposed to low vibrational energy. So that's alchemy. That is how we can transmute energy. When we typically would choose to feel guilty and shameful for something, figure out what would make you feel joyful and comforted and happy and calm, and project that onto that situation, because then you're transmuting the energy. And it's really beautiful. So when you can become really aware of that monkey mind in your head and become aware of the angel and devil conversation, then you have the power. That's how powerful we are, you guys. Everything is a choice. Every single thing that we do and think and everything is a choice. And we can either choose to look at something or be present with something in a peaceful, joyful vibration, or we can sit in the fear, guilt, and shame and just know that it's okay either way, but don't stay in the fear, guilt, and shame for too long, because then it just brings your whole being down and then you feel stuck. And that's where overwhelm comes in and depression comes in and all of these things. And that's kind of where we're trying to get away from all of that and then just come from a loving, pure love, unconditional love state. And that's why loving our bodies at every single stage that we're at is so important. We're not really taught to listen to our body, and we're not really taught to love our body unconditionally. All these things, all these magazines and Instagram and all these things in our eyesight is telling us oh, you need to be this body type to be loved and, adored, and you need to do this and eat like this. And if you haven't noticed, almost every single topic has an opposite. So in the health field, I know everybody's kind of on this health journey now. It's the new year, the beginning of 2024, all that jazz. And so health and wellness is usually on the top of everything. Hey, editing Staci here. I just wanted to pop this in because I lost my train of thought during this little part. And where I was going with that is that right now everybody has the state of mind of health and wellness, and that there is opposite information out there, opposing information out there everywhere you look. So don't get caught up in the kind of diet that's right, because you're going to have doctors and scientists and health gurus telling you that, veganism is the way to get the perfect body, or eating raw milk and red meat and yada yada is the best way to achieve your goals. There's so many opposing thoughts and feelings, and you're never going to find the right one from anybody, any outsource. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. They're only sharing a truth that comes from how they lost the weight or how they got the body that they have now. They're only sharing their experience. But not one experience is the right experience. And that's what I really wanted to share real quick, is to just give you some encouragement to focus on what your body needs right now to achieve your goals. If your body is saying, all you need is to just drink more water. I am dehydrated. You are dehydrating me. Drink more water. That might be as simple as it is that you just have to incorporate water and your body will do the rest. Our body is always wanting to be at a state of homeostasis and a state of healthy. So our body is always doing everything in its power to come back to a healthy state, but it's us who do all these things to damage the body. So if we can start actually listening to our body, it's telling us very loudly sometimes in symptoms and whatnot what to do. And I know for the majority of people in my life, water is the number one thing that people just don't incorporate in their life, and your body is dehydrated, and you need to add that back into your life. So really fast, I just wanted to tell you, don't fixate on what any health person is telling you is the right way. If anybody tells you there's only one right way to achieve something, they're lying to your face. It is all about what your personal body needs, and all of our bodies are so 100% different. So we're so unique in that way that what works for one person may not work for the other. So it is forcing you to come back to yourself and to figure out what you personally need for your body. Okay, back to the podcast. With that being at the top of everybody's list, we have this, we're like hyper focused, and where our attention is, that's where the energy is going to go. And so if you're picking yourself apart and not having like good inner talk about your body's going to store that. Your body's going to store all that negative energy that you're saying to itself. And our bodies don't deserve that. Our bodies are doing everything in its power to help us move and go through day-to-day life. And we don't usually take the time to sit and be thankful for our body and like hug our body and say like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I've talked so down to you for so many years. No wonder you're in this awful state. Like, think about it as like just on a different level. Like if you were talking to your daughter or your son, like, and you were constantly telling them and talking down to them and telling them they're not good enough and they're ugly and, you know, all of these things, how do you think that child is going to grow up? Like, not good. Our body is listening always to us. And so we're the ones that are destroying it. So we need to come back into ourselves and be thankful right where we're at, and then love on our body and thank like each part. Thank your feet. If they're tired, rub your own feet and thank them for all the hard work that they do. Like, when was the last time you thanked your feet for letting them stand up, or having them let you, I can't even talk. When was the last time you thanked your feet for allowing you to just walk all over them and shove them in and out of shoes all day long, and like they're like barking at you like, sit the F down, I'm so tired. But we just have this hustle culture right now that's just kind of like, bleh. I'm like so anti-hustle culture. That's the projector in me. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what this 4 days entails. Like I said, it's going to be really hard. I am fully prepared to scream, cry, like whatever has to come up. I might not even know where these emotions are coming from. But I'll just know that they're needed to be released. So I'm not going to really focus on why they're coming up per se. I'm just going to be focusing on letting the energy go and like transmuting the energy. So be a lot of like laying in bed, laying on the couch, going on walks with Kinsley, like just really low energy stuff. But sitting in meditation a few times a day. I'm still really learning how to get into a meditative state and like not like jump out of it. So I'll be practicing a lot of meditation and just quieting my mind, listening to sounds and frequencies, just like really being mindful and taking care of my body, and seeing where this journey takes me and seeing what kind of enlightenment I have stored up. And just so you guys know, like this isn't anything like crazy or of the devil or anything. Like this is the power within us. This is the God creator within all of us. And each one of us has the capability of doing this, but a lot of people won't do the hard things. And so they'll never get to experience those things. So when you do hard things, you're always rewarded for it, like tenfold, right? And so this is just one step that I feel called to take. And I know that not everybody is going to understand me. I have a lot of desire to also do dark therapy, which is literally being in a dark room and soundproof room for 5 days. You go to the bathroom in the dark, you eat your foods in the dark, like they give you meals. It's like an actual like retreat that you can go to. And some people think I'm like nuts for wanting to do this, but I'm on this journey of like really knowing who I am at the core, and you can't get that with all the outside noise. And so could you really imagine, like just for a second, imagine like all windows shut. Like this isn't just going into your bedroom, shutting the door and closing the blinds. Like this is all light sealed out of a room, like all windows sealed, all doors sealed. Like there is no outside light. So what I've researched and watched YouTube tutorials and like not tutorials, but interviews of people talking about their experiences with dark therapy. Like you're face to face with yourself, with your soul. Like we have to remember who we are is the soul, the living soul inside of us. This avatar, this Staci avatar, is not who the soul is. So if you really want to learn your soul, you have to quiet everything else out, because the soul is really quiet. Your higher self is really quiet, and the hustle and bustle of the world is very loud. Really becoming aware of wanting to do that is leading me down these like higher education, higher spiritual realms and things like that. And I'm all for it. I have people in my life that think I am just nuts, but that's okay. You know, they just don't understand yet, and they haven't chosen to try to understand. And that's the thing is, you know, the people in your life that are like, why would you do that? Why are you doing that? And all these like kind of naysayers, like kind of picking at you. If they're not willing to look at some of the things that you are looking at and seeing where your education is coming from and like really try to understand, then don't pay them any attention. Like don't even let their naysaying negative thoughts, their concern, you know, that's usually the word. Like, I'm concerned about you, but I'm like, just putting that out there. I am happy. I am loved. I know that, you know, everything is beautiful. It's just a new perspective on life that a lot of people aren't really ready for, but it's coming. Like every single person is going to eventually be on the same page, but we're all on our own journey. And that's the beauty of humanity, is we're not all going to be on the same path, but we're all going to get to the same destination, if that makes sense. So if you're on this journey too, and you're starting to feel crazy and like having these moments where you're like, I can't even explain this, like what, like all this excitement and things happening, like just know you're not alone. There's a lot of people in the world that are having the same experiences, and they're sharing their truth to the world. And I don't want you to feel crazy and alone on this journey. I have definitely felt alone on this journey, but now that I am like actually coming into a state where I trust myself, all of the rest of it doesn't really matter. Learning about my human design was one of the biggest life-changing things for me. So learning my projector self and just waiting for the invitation and letting people like, you know, come to me instead of like word vomiting over them has been life-changing to me. And I just sit with myself and what I learn and trust that what I'm learning right now is for a purpose to eventually one day, you know, be able to really teach it and share with everybody else so that they don't feel stuck and alone and fearful of what's happening to their body. So there's a lot of energy coming in, and I just want you guys to know that I love you. I'm here for you. I feel like a trailblazer in my personal little collective of people, and it can feel scary and a wild ride, but I'm here for it and I'm doing okay. And yeah, I'm in a place of happiness and love and light. And that doesn't mean that I don't have, you know, scary things come in my mind. I'm just learning how to actually sit with that, figure out where it's coming from, and then letting it go. So it does look like running to the ocean and having to reground or going to the forest. Like, those things are natural, and those things are what humans used to do all the time. We've been so disconnected from nature that it feels like foreign and feels like weird, like, whoa, like you're, you know, forest bathing and running to the ocean. Like, what is going on? Are you okay? Yes, I'm going back to our roots of humanity and where we actually came from. And we were completely 100% in harmony and balance with nature. And we're all coming back to that. So I just wanted to let you guys in on what I was doing with the Sacred Secretion. I will keep you posted on how it goes, and any battles that I come up with, or not come up with, but start facing. I'll be really open and sharing about the experience. I just really want to be really raw and real with what is happening with me and what I'm going through, just in case there's just one person out there that is feeling these exact same things, and these information that's coming into your, your realm, they're there for a purpose. And so just, I want to teach you to lean into these curiosities that are coming. You're becoming curious about these things for a purpose. So dive into those curiosities, like surrender to the curiosities and let whatever your body needs from it, and then share your experience with the world. Because the more that we can be raw and real in our authentic self and share it with the world, the more people we can actually help raise the consciousness of the world, so that way we can all end up on heaven on earth one day. And hopefully, like in the next 5 years, I'm like praying for heaven on earth. So hold that frequency, stay tuned. I'll probably share little snippets each day of what I'm feeling and whatnot. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to delve into another topic. All right, you guys, I love you.